Biden, for the first time, I think, when asked this question, starts to open the door to not running in 2024.
Are you committed to running again, or are there certain conditions that have to be right?
Look, if I were to say to you, I'm running again, all of a sudden a whole range of things come into play that I have requirements I have to change and move and do.
In terms of election laws?
In terms of election laws. And it's much too early to make that kind of decision. I'm a great respecter of fate. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing my job. I'm going to do that job. And within the time frame that makes sense after this next election cycle here, going into next year, make a judgment of what to do.
You say that it's much too early to make that decision. I take it the decision has not been made in your own head.
Look, my intention, as I said to begin with, is that I would run again. But it's just an intention. But is it a firm decision that I run again? That remains to be seen.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look, I have trouble even mentioning, even saying to myself, my own head, the number of years. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly. I mean, it's just not, I haven't observed anything in terms of, there's not things I don't do now that I did before, whether it's physical or mental or anything else.
Mr. President, you are the oldest president ever.
Pretty good shape, huh?
Which leads to my next question. You are more aware of this than anyone. Some people ask whether you are fit for the job. And when you hear that, I wonder what you think.
Watch me.
Not great advice, I think, if Joe Biden's trying to garner support. But your take on that, Senator, reading between the lines, is the guy running in 2024?
No.
No way.
All right, so there are lots of different elements of that, so let's unpack that. So first of all, he starts out with blatantly false legal advice. And I recognize Joe Biden was never a very good lawyer, but he really showed that there. So he says, well, there are legal consequences if I say I'm running. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is the incumbent president of the United States. He has filed paperwork with the FEC as a candidate for president of the United States in the next election. He is, legally speaking, a candidate for president of the United States in the next election. He is raising money to run in the next election. Everything about that is triggered because he is an active candidate raising money for that election cycle for the 2024 election. Nothing changes if he says yes or no. Now, what Biden is mimicking, so Trump has said, if I say I'm running, that triggers things. That's true. It does for Trump. Why? Because Trump is not the sitting president of the United States, and he is not a filed candidate. When you file for a candidate, that does trigger limitations. That does trigger a whole set of legal restrictions, all of which apply to Biden one way or the other. So Biden's opening answer is just gobbledygook. But secondly, and here's where I'll be oddly defending Biden in this respect. I understand why he doesn't want to say, no, I'm not running. I think the chances that he's running are zero. He's too old. He knows he's too old. The party would lose its mind if he ran. He's not up to doing the job now. The idea that he would run again when he's 142, it ain't going to happen. But I understand why a sitting president doesn't want to announce that. If you announce I'm not running, you turn yourself into a lame duck a year and a half into his term. That makes sense for him. It is reasonable and rational for him not to telegraph, I ain't running again. So I think that's what he's doing. But, you know, one of the things that makes perfectly obvious that he's not running again is the Democrats are all openly campaigning. They're at least for the top tier of the Democrats are Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, and Gavin Newsom. All four of them are running right now. They're stabbing each other in the back. They're running around, preening for the cameras. The primary is happening right now, and they all know it.